Don't know Juan. This is Juan Venegas. Juan is the pastor of our church plant in Costa Rica. Some of you new people around here will be like, hey, we've never met Juan before. Some of y'all have, but some of you haven't. This is Juan, pastor of Rio de Gracia Church in Hatillo, I almost said Hatillo, Texas.
Yes.
You wish, don't you? And so, but I asked Juan to just come up and just to share a few things with you this morning. So yes, y'all welcome Juan.
Yes, well. Working? It's working? Okay, thank you. Well, yes, my name is Juan. I am here with my family, my kids, and my wife that was stalling yesterday for Mona. Mona stole my wife yesterday for the women's retreat. Is that right?
Yes.
So hopefully she will be here tonight. Otherwise, Greg could get some troubles with me. Um, but no, I feel quite sad and alone. No, I'm fine. Thanks God. I just want to share some things that have been happening in Costa Rica. But first of all, we are excited to be here. I hope to see what God is doing here and see Him. Well, my English is not perfect, so you should know this. I remember some faces, and I've seen some of my brothers and sisters I already know. But most of you, I don't know most of you, but it's great to be here. Thank you for having us, and we want to share more time with you and know more about this church and what is going on. Why? Because I'm sorry, I have some issues with my throat. This is the third time here, right? The first two times were quite weird for me, a whole experience. This is the third time in in United States, not just Texas. So it's been a whole experience for me. But today, this time, I feel a little bit different. I can see more like um, having a whole picture of your culture or some of the um, um, how the church is and everything. So I think I can look more and okay, thank you. I'm sorry about that. So I can learn more about you and know more about you, and that's what I want. Well, I'm not gonna take a long too much time. I want to share a couple things that are happening or going on in Costa Rica. And first of all, that we are grateful for everything that you have done for us, building the church. But more than that, like being there, helping us to grow spiritually, helping us to grow in the ministry, and to learn how to do it in a good way. Why? Because the culture is totally different. The Christian culture is completely different. Right, so everything that you have done, even going there and preaching and visiting our community, and all those things have been great for us and for our community. Well, you have some pictures of our the church now. Well, that's the whole dream for us. It's not just like a building. It's more than that. I don't want to get lost, so I'm going to read my notes. So we are grateful because of that. After 4 years, because we started in a place called La Casona. Some of you may know, could remember that place maybe. After 4 years being a church in our community, something that is grateful or is great is to see how for our community. You need to know that Costa Rica is mostly Catholic, right? So something that is great for us and is, I don't know how to say it, a blessing is that for our community, when someone is looking for an answer or help or spiritual guidance, they send the people to our church. They don't send the people to the Catholic Church. So that is great. It is something that is, in my opinion, pretty new, being Costa Rican. So it's something that I haven't seen before, that the community send the people to a evangelical church. So that is great. After 4 years, we have seen that happening in our community. Why? Because we've been working. You have been working for us or through, well, yes, with us. I don't know how to say this specifically. I don't want to make mistakes. The first year when I was here, I was saying, you old people. I said that, and I didn't know that was something. Oh, my God. And Craig was recording the preaching. Well, the preaching, I say, and when I was watching this video, I can hear Craig saying, "Oh!" So I sweat a lot when I'm watching that preaching. It is terrible, honestly. So I don't want to make those mistakes this time. But well, I'm gonna keep sharing what is going on. We are trying to work with other churches. Is that right, churches? Okay, thank you. To reach other communities. Why? Because yes, we have a lot of churches around our area. You need to take in account that 20 minutes in Costa Rica is not like 20 minutes here, because most of our people don't have cars or motorcycle or something, so they need to figure it out how to get to 20 minutes away from where they are. So we have churches, but they don't work at the same way you are used to see it here in Texas or United States, or the church here. So our church is a whole new thing for our community and for the people around us. The kind of gospel we share is something new. What? That we are saved by grace. Yes, this is new in our community. Almost heretic for some people, by the way. So it's a whole new gospel and message that we are preaching, that we are saved by grace. Something else that is pretty new, that is not that we are showing movies about hell to reach people. No, we are trying to get close to the community and through different activities. And we have learned that because you have been there doing those activities every time you go as missionaries. So that's great too. So we've been trying to work with other churches to reach communities. And there is a lot of problems with sexual abuse, dysfunctional families, is that right? And drugs. The religious culture is completely different, and the ones that have been there, is that right too? Okay, you should know that. Well, Blaine was there for 2 months, and he saw that very well as well. So we are trying to help other evangelical churches to change the way they work. And I know, because we have seen the fruit of it in our church, that is going to work. Also, this year we start with something called GLOMOS, that is a theological training program. For some of you, could be something not very important because you already have many resources in the United States, or at least is what I guess. But for our community, it's something pretty new. Mostly that is for free. So we are working this year with GLOMOS, or the theological training program. And for sure we are going to do it. We're gonna keep doing it the next years. But also, we are doing this too. We are trying to train people through social media, or using the technology and all these things, to train people in other places of Costa Rica. So in the future, we can think to go and teach and prepare other people to start churches in other areas in Costa Rica or Latin America, I would say. Something that, well, I'm trying to figure it out in my mind how to say this. Sometimes, and when we have a few people in our churches, sometimes we don't see how worthy is every soul. We have received sometimes one person, not in the service, but sometimes Kimberly or my wife and me are in the church, and someone comes, is that right? And we start sharing the gospel. And we see that person, that woman or man, crying and desperate. Sometimes they are desperate, as you have seen someone else maybe. And after you talk with this person, that person start coming to the church. This is, I know as Christian we have seen that many times maybe. But then you see the family of these people coming too. And this is precious. This is awesome. Why? Because Christ died on the cross for each one of us. And we need to take that in count because sometimes we menospreciate we don't see this like something precious, and we need to see it that way. So we have seen that, and they are grateful because they have found hope in a different way. Not the kind of hope that you need to follow this law, these lines. If you do this, you maybe could be safe, and maybe God will help you. If you fast enough, maybe God will help you with your situation. Maybe God will forgive you with of your sins. No, it's completely different. And I know, you know this very well, but it's not the same thing there. We've been growing, we have grown, is that right? Okay, thank you. You see, I'm practicing yet. We have grown with a whole different view of Christ. It's just like a judge pushing us to do the law to be safe. I know in the United States, in some places, it's the same as well. But yes, I mean, there are people who is grateful because there is a new place to go with a whole new, different message. And why? And I don't want to do like a commercial, but this is the truth. Because you have been helping our community, and you have been going there to help us to grow and learn. So it's a whole work, and it's worthy. What else I want to share with you? Mm-hmm. I was telling you that we are working with other churches to reach their community because it's a whole new perspective of what a church should be. And this is a little hard to explain because it takes time, and I don't want to take a long time. But our church is completely different, and our perspective of what a church should be is not the same what we have seen in Costa Rica. God is generating a spiritual transformation in our community, and this is because God is obviously working, but not through what we are doing. And sometimes, honestly, I see God working, and I say, I'm not doing anything. It's just God working, but not through us, not just through us, but through what you have been doing all these 4 years. 4 years. You maybe were not there, but somehow you did it. You have been supporting us. And the last thing, well, this is not a last thing, but this next year, we're working with other churches. We are going to start doing ¿cómo se dice? Let's see the word in Spanish. Maybe I can remember. Yeah, conference. Conference for pastors. We are trying to partner with other churches, as I told you, to start with conference for pastors with a different perspective, because it's always the same in Costa Rica. It's always about works, right? But in this case, we want to start doing it just pointing the gospel. And this is something really new because they are used to hear that, oh, we are going to talk about the gospel. Let's talk about tithes, the gifts of the Holy Spirit, or the law. But they not even know what gospel means. Sometimes you ask someone, tell me the gospel. Oh, everything in the Bible is the gospel. And somehow, yes. But they start talking about the demons or how to cast out demons. I don't know, you will be surprised for this. But for example, there are people in Facebook in Costa Rica doing courses, is that right? Courses? To learn how to cast out demons, to learn how to be a prophet, and things like that. So when we are talking about to share the gospel in a whole conference just about the gospel, is a whole new thing. So this is something that we're planning to do the next year. Obviously, we are going to keep doing the theological training program as well. And something else that we are planning to do for 2025 is we were last year working with organization from United States as well. I guess Florida. I don't remember well. I don't know. I don't remember their name. But we were in a conference for counseling. They have been doing it for years in an area of Costa Rica called Jaco, and more in the south, close to Panama. And they have been doing this conference for the community. There are many pastors going there. I was there the last year, trying to translate, by the way. And this organization wants to start doing this in our community. Why? Because now there is a church with a different view. And so they want to do it because of that. So again, thank you very much for all what you have done, for all your support, and for your praise. We need a lot of praise, as you need too. So again, thank you very much for everything. And well, you have a short view of what is going on, if you can get what I was trying to say. And no, God bless you, and please keep praying for us.